he's a gangster, you don't want to get killed. Do you go easy? You hear all this stuff talking about, he was taking the money. So we thought, we go with the church boy. We'll go with MC Hammer, but he was the most gangster one of all of us.
I heard about it.
And the winner, MC Hammer.
Crime. Why don't you think you went that way?
I would say that anybody who grew up on my block had to be tempted.
MC Hammer's rap career was accompanied by a shadowy past steeped in gangster activities, elevating him to a level of fear surpassing even notorious figures like Suge Knight. His journey into the underworld was marked by tales of intrigue and danger, shrouded in mystery until now. Before he became a household name in the music industry, MC Hammer navigated the gritty streets with a steely resolve, earning a reputation as one of the most feared thugs of his time. His past is a labyrinth of clandestine dealings and daring exploits, cementing his status as a formidable force in the underworld. Rumors abound of his involvement in illicit enterprises, from running with the notorious gangs to orchestrating clandestine operations that sent shivers down the spines of even the most hardened criminals. Yet amidst the chaos and danger, Hammer wielded power with a calculated finesse that set him apart from his peers. His enigmatic persona and ability to command respect in the darkest corners of society made him a force to be reckoned with, eclipsing the notoriety of even the most infamous figures in the criminal underworld. Tales of his audacious escapades and fearless demeanor spread like wildfire, solidifying his legacy as a true gangster icon. But before this, he was a man who lived a normal life. Stanley Kirk Burrell, widely recognized as MC Hammer, faced a tough upbringing in East Oakland, California, marked by financial struggles and a backdrop of crime and substance abuse. Growing up with numerous siblings and raised by a single mother after his parents' separation at a young age, he navigated through the challenges of his environment. When asked about his ability to avoid the temptations of illicit activities around him, MC Hammer credited his unwavering love for his mother and his steadfast resolve not to disappoint her.
A double-edged sword, and very few people can really deal with fame. If you were given a choice between fame and fortune, take the fortune.
During his youth, MC Hammer displayed entrepreneurial spirit by hustling tickets from Oakland A's baseball players and reselling them for extra cash. His older brother's connections with the team introduced him to the sports scene. Alongside his ticket-selling hustle, he entertained passers-by with spontaneous dance performances in parking lots accompanied by his beloved radio. These early ventures showcased his budding passion for dance and entertainment.
I worked for the Oakland A's as the assistant to the owner of the team, whose name was Charles Finley, and I was made the youngest executive vice president in America.
In a stroke of fate, MC Hammer caught the eye of Charles Finley, the owner of the Oakland A's, with his impressive talents. This encounter opened a remarkable door for Hammer, who secured a position as a clubhouse assistant at the incredibly tender age of 9. His commitment and diligence left a profound impact on Finley and the team, leading to a rapid advancement within the organization. By his early teenage years, Hammer had ascended to the role of vice president, a testament to his exceptional work ethic and undeniable potential.
Went on ABC's Kids Are People 2 when I was 16. I had been there already for about 4 years, and it was a tremendous experience.
Baseball played a significant role in shaping MC Hammer's identity. During his time with the Oakland A's, outfielder Reggie Jackson noticed a striking resemblance between Hammer and fellow outfielder Hank Aaron, renowned as the Hammer.
Helpful to my career as I became a musician known as MC Hammer. At the time, Reggie Jackson had named me Hammer.
Following high school, MC Hammer pursued higher education at a local college, but soon became disillusioned with the experience, opting for a different path. He enlisted in the Navy and served for several years, earning an honorable discharge. During his military tenure, he and a roommate crafted music demos right in their barracks. Post-service, Hammer ventured into the music scene, briefly joining a gospel hip-hop group called the Holy Ghost Boys. This diverse journey laid the groundwork for his multifaceted career in the music industry. Following his military service, MC Hammer pursued his passion for music by securing a substantial loan from a couple of former Oakland A's players. This financial support allowed him to establish his very own record label, which he named Busted Productions. Under this company, he founded Busted Records, an independent label where MC Hammer assumed the role of CEO.
Can you imagine Michael Jackson, MC Hammer on tour, big dance tour, we can go around the world a few times.
Wow.
And
MJ
that was
and
the
MC?
concept that we were working on.
Rebranding himself as MC Hammer, which symbolized Master of Ceremonies, he recorded his debut album titled Feel My Power, and independently released it in 1987 on his own label. This milestone marked the inception of his music career and set him on the path to becoming a prominent figure in the music industry. Through unwavering determination and tireless efforts, MC Hammer achieved a remarkable feat, selling over 60,000 copies of his debut album. However, his breakthrough moment arrived in 1988 while performing at an Oakland nightclub. There, he caught the eye of a record executive who was thoroughly impressed by his talent and promptly offered him a multi-album contract with Capitol Records. Reflecting on the moment, MC Hammer recalled, quote, "I was a student at the time, so I'm like, I can't even conceive what $10,000 looks like. I don't even think I can spell it." Literally 10 minutes later, the phone rings and the guy goes, "Hi, this is MC Hammer, I'm calling from Capitol Records." With this pivotal deal, MC Hammer reissued his debut album under the title Let's Get It Started, incorporating additional tracks. The album featured standout singles such as Pump It Up, Turn This Mother Out, They Put Me in the Mix, and the title track. Subsequently, his third album, Please Hammer, Don't Hurt 'Em, hit the shelves in February 1990, boasting the chart-topping anthem You Can't Touch This, which sampled Rick James' Super Freak. This iconic track further cemented MC Hammer's position as a prominent figure in the music industry. MC Hammer faced legal turmoil when Rick James sued him for copyright infringement over You Can't Touch This. The dispute was settled out of court, with Hammer agreeing to credit Rick as a co-composer, granting James a share of the song's considerable earnings. Rick James explained to Musician magazine, quote, "I put a very operatic vocal structure on it because I'm really into opera. You probably hear a lot of that in my music." Yet this wasn't the sole instance of legal entanglements for MC Hammer regarding copyright issues. Despite these challenges, he persevered and continued to achieve success in his career. Notably, his rendition of the Chi-Lites' Have You Seen Her and the hit single Pray garnered significant attention. His accomplishments, including the groundbreaking achievement of the first hip-hop album to attain diamond status, solidified his status as a trailblazer in the music industry.
See her, I'm looking for that love. She's a ball and a...
In 1990, a film titled Please Hammer, Don't Hurt 'Em was produced to complement MC Hammer's album of the same name. In an interview with Maria Shriver in the early 90s, Hammer shared an intriguing detail about his career. He had insured his legs for an astounding $10 million. This precaution safeguarded the asset that played a pivotal role in propelling his success.
I guess they were put there for me to select if I want to wear any of those tonight. I see a candidate over there.
You do? What are you going to wear?
It seems to me that green sure would show up pretty nice.
Despite his remarkable accomplishments, MC Hammer encountered challenges and criticism throughout his career. Some critics pointed out the repetitive nature of his lyrics, his squeaky clean image, and what they saw as an excessive reliance on sampling in his music. Moreover, he became a target of mockery in songs and music videos by various artists. Interestingly, some of these responses were triggered by perceived insults from Hammer himself, highlighting the dynamic nature of his interactions within the music industry.
They asked us what we think about MC Hammer, and we said, you know, he can't rap. He's not a good rapper. Great entertainer. He's a great entertainer, but he can't rap. You know what I'm saying? You take away the jumping around.
During the height of his career, MC Hammer stood apart from the stereotype of a gangsta rapper. His signature parachute pants, meticulously choreographed dance routines, and pop-oriented music distinguished him from the gritty image often associated with hip-hop artists of the era. Consequently, he became the butt of jokes and was labeled a sellout by some peers. His image was so entrenched that when he attempted to adopt a tougher persona on his 1994 album, The Funky Headhunter, skepticism arose.
He's not even doing the fake rap that he do. He got his homeboy screaming all his vocals, and he's just jumping around, you know what I'm saying? So, okay.
Some perceived this transformation as insincere, highlighting the challenges he faced in breaking away from his established image. In reality, the Hammer who charmed the world with his friendly smile was a skilled showman. One of his fans wrote, quote, "As a Bay Area native, I was a diehard Hammer fan. He brought excitement, showmanship, and mainstream diversity to hip-hop at a time when it was extremely taboo." I appreciate him for going against the grain in spite of the backlash. Thanks for the great video, he was a hip-hop superhero to me. Another one added, quote, Hammer is one of the realest rappers to ever do it. He was attacked by his own peers who were envious of his fame and talent. 99% of all rappers don't have a track record as spotless as him, but Stanley Burrell, the man behind the stage name, possessed a toughness that shouldn't be underestimated. This fact became evident in an encounter Redman had with MC Hammer. In 1992, MC Hammer was undoubtedly the most commercially successful artist in the hip-hop genre. His 1990 album, Please Hammer Don't Hurt 'Em, went on to sell 22 million copies, while 1991's Too Legit to Quit added an additional 5 million to his impressive sales figures. His immense success and his more mainstream-friendly style made him a target for criticism from purist MCs. Redman was one of many critics, and he expressed his views on MC Hammer in the Funky Uncles skit from his debut album, What? The Album. During the one-minute interlude, Redman can be heard saying of Hammer, quote, he ain't S. Hammer ain't doing nothing for us. He ain't S. You ain't S. His mama ain't S. His daddy ain't S. Ain't nobody S. Red became animated in recalling Hammer's response to the record, telling Vlad, quote, that goddamn MC Hammer, very serious about beef. Y'all MFs laugh and y'all joke about Hammer? No, 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 no. That guy was deep with guys. Anybody who talked S come to the Bay Area, they was for it. Cause we seen it, I seen it, and he was very serious about beef. Oh, you gonna talk about my dancing pants? I'll see you, and he would whip a guy out. In a 1994 interview on Rap City, MC Hammer mentioned that he had heard the skit Funky Uncles by Redman, and it didn't sit well with him. He expressed his displeasure by saying Redman, when he came out with his album, he has a little skit on the front of it that says something about Hammer. So to me, he's just another young upstart, so I addressed it on the album and put him in his place. A year later, Redman found himself face to face with MC Hammer 3 years after releasing the skit. It was evident that Hammer hadn't forgotten or forgiven the words from the skit. Redman recounted the encounter, saying, that guy came up to me on Yo MTV Raps during their last episode. He approached me and said, Red, I'm going to tell you something. You're young, but I won't allow anyone to talk about my mother. Do you understand me? Redman, recognizing the seriousness of the situation, responded, yes, sir. To provide context, Redman mentioned that before this encounter, the Hit Squad had been in the Bay Area and had almost faced a confrontation. He recalled, quote, we were already in Oakland with EPMD and we almost had to leave quickly because they had people here, there, and everywhere, and it felt like we were boxed in. They weren't playing around and we had to get out of there. Returning to the confrontation on Yo MTV Raps, Redman further explained, quote, he shook my hand and said, you're a young artist and I appreciate what you do. But always remember, I won't tolerate anyone disrespecting my mother. In recounting the events to combat Jack in 2012, Redman was even more descriptive, saying, quote, the guy thinks Hammer's a sucker. Hammer don't play. Hammer don't play. He dances and he's very athletic and he'll whoop a guy's A. Red also noted how conciliatory he was at the Yo MTV Raps encounter, saying his response when Hammer expressed his dissatisfaction about Red's words about his mother was, yo Hammer man, you was big. Look man, I ain't got no beef with you. My dude, you a OG. I'm a young cat. Between September 1990 and 1991, 3 significant hip-hop acts hailing from Oakland, California attained platinum album certifications. Digital Underground led the charge with their album Packets, achieving platinum status. In January of the subsequent year, Too Short joined the ranks with his album Short Dogs in the House, also earning platinum certification. MC Hammer followed suit 2 months later with his iconic album Please Hammer Don't Hurt 'Em, completing the trio of Bay Area artists with platinum-selling records. Notably, all 3 artists had inked deals with major record labels primarily based in New York, or in the case of Hammer, Capitol Records in Hollywood.
I was in the streets before Hammer, as far as like the music and stuff.
Yeah.
I was making records before Hammer, but he came very shortly after and did big things.
Despite their overlapping circles, Too Short recently disclosed a feud with MC Hammer during the late 80s and early 90s. The leader of the Dangerous Crew even admitted to using some of his memorable singles to diss his neighbor Hammer. During an appearance on the Questlove Supreme Pandora radio show, Too Short provided insights into his career. He reminisced about crafting special request mixtapes, garnering support from neighborhood hustlers from his music, and establishing a fruitful partnership with Jive Records and executive Barry Weiss. In a segment titled MC Hammer, Too Short expressed frustration at witnessing Hammer receive more favorable media attention compared to himself.
We were at odds, so to speak, at a young time, but it wasn't like violence or anger. It was more like just, you know, the local competition.
In 1990, Too Short reflects on the Oakland hip-hop scene, emphasizing his long-standing friendship with E40, who was steadily building his reputation in the neighborhood. However, when it came to discussing Oakland's hip-hop landscape, Too Short's counterpart was MC Hammer. He recalls Hammer's renowned for his dancing prowess and his rise to fame through his affiliation with the Oakland Athletics organization. Many of Hammer's friends attended the same high school as Too Short, and he was acquainted with the entire crew. Despite this, Too Short admits he didn't even know MC Hammer's real name at the time.
People used to like test them a little bit, see if he was a dancing Hammer. I've heard people tell stories like they caught the wrath of MC Hammer Ain't No Punk.
Too Short recollects how Hammer and a guy named Ace used to dress alike and perform identical dance moves at clubs, drawing crowds and becoming popular for their dance skills. But Too Short had no idea that Hammer was involved in rapping until he released his song Let's Get It Started. As the story goes, one day Too Short encountered MC Hammer with 4 bodyguards and an entourage of about 20 people. Someone inquired about Hammer's identity, and Too Short, feeling confident in his own popularity and fame, responded that he didn't know who he was and didn't care. He had heard about MC Hammer a few times but had never connected the dots until someone finally clarified the situation for him. Short took umbrage with Hammer's overnight rap success, especially when his own presentation was focused on the word above dance moves and sizzle. Quote, he became more famous for acting famous, and then the music came with it at the same time. He walked in the door with 4 bodyguards and an entourage, and his first single was just coming out. Having him as an example, I'm like, I'm not doing that. Questlove asks if Short But Funky was aimed at Hammer. That featured this verse, quote, you never catch me on the mic rapping a dance tune. I like it kind of mellow with the sound of the bass boom. The style is mine. I've been doing it for 10. You might say it's simple, but I'm making my ends. See, I don't trip on a punk cause I jack him. Too Short plus the cuss words equals platinum. What would I look like dancing on a stage? I wave my hand and do it like the old days. But some dumb fool want to take it out of hand. With 50 million dancers and a big old band, that ain't me. I'm from the old school. Play the instrumental, get the mic, and I'm cool. The guest confirms, quote, I was doing lines at Hammer. We all were. I had a lot of songs at Hammer and Hammer references, he continues, so I'm saying S like that in the record. We're down the street from each other and S, talking lil S about each other to our mutual homies. There'd never be any friction, cause they're thugs and we're thugs and we all know each other. But Hammer do S like sit on the F couch with Arsenio Hall and say, where are you from, Hammer? I'm from Oakland, how's hip hop out there? He further said, well, I'm the only rapper from Oakland, laughs, like I'm never going to be invited on. Arsenio, you're gonna sit there and tell the whole F world a lie? Like he would do S like that and that was his character. He poked. I poked back. Back in the day, Short admitted that he had his sights set on MC Hammer as a target for his disses, but he wasn't content with just taking shots at him. Artists like Third Base, the DOC, and LL Cool J were also in on the dissing action. It reached a point where they decided to really go all out against Hammer. Louis Burrell, Hammer's older brother, got wind of the situation and reached out to Short and his crew. He let them in on the fact that they had just come back from a grueling tour which had its share of troubles, including a tragic accident where someone lost their life. Louis was very clear when he said, we didn't come home to deal with this nonsense. This real talk from Louis hit home, and Short and his crew understood the seriousness of the situation. So after the tension had escalated to its peak, it only took a phone call to settle the matter. Short later revealed that he now considers Hammer and his crew as family and friends.
And he was like, look, man, it was matter of fact. He was like, we've been out on this road, we've been going through some shit, and we're on our way home. He was like, we don't want to come home to shit, Short.
Surprisingly, they even collaborated 15 years later on the team's It's Getting Hot remix, so what started out as a feud eventually turned into a bond that stood the test of time. Later in the interview, Too Short says that his longtime musician engineer Al Eaton pressured him to sound like MC Hammer. Short also describes a frustrating relationship with rap media. Early on, I made money. Early on, I'm famous as F. Early on, I'm rocking crowds. My self-esteem is way the F up there. I'm rapping, and I consider myself nothing of a S symbol. I'm nothing, I'm me. I got money and I won't even fix my F teeth. It didn't bother me at all to be on TV with a F up grill. I'm like, I got a pool in my backyard and a Mercedes, I don't give a F. So I would look at the media's interpretation of all of hip hop, meaning like The Source or something. Not only that, MC has also messed up with one of the moguls of the industry, Jay-Z. As previously reported, MC Hammer released a rap diss targeting Jay-Z, which featured a video where a lookalike of the Rock Nation chief is chased through the woods by a devil-like character. In the video, MC Hammer appears to address the hip-hop mogul, issuing threats of knocking him out. However, in a surprising turn of events, when the Jay-Z character encounters MC Hammer by a lake, he manages to fend off Satan and is then symbolically baptized by his hip-hop rival. The motivation behind this diss track initially seemed to stem from a Jay-Z rap on a Kanye West track that referenced MC Hammer's widely known financial struggles in the mid-90s. However, MC Hammer revealed that his feud with Jay-Z was primarily rooted in Jay-Z's past use of Christian imagery and themes in his lyrics and music videos. In the interview, MC Hammer, who was an ordained minister, specifically points to Jay-Z's tracks on To the Next One and Empire State of Mind as being particularly offensive to his religious beliefs.
I got it made. If Jesus paying LeBron, I'm paying Dwayne Wade.
As previously reported, Jay-Z refused to be drawn into a beef with MC Hammer, telling BBC One Extra he wasn't aware the 90s rapper's financial woes were off limits. He added that he had lots of respect for Hammer and that he says so a number of times in his upcoming new book. But nevertheless, Hammer reckons he's won his beef. He rambles on, quote, "I am declaring victory because the diss video, showed a whole lot of people who were not aware that Jay's dissing of Hammer's faith is how you are getting down. So beefing with such big artists of the industry and still maintaining a respectable place there, MC truly proved that he was the real gangster of the industry. MC Hammer's past remains veiled in secrecy, a tantalizing enigma that continues to intrigue and captivate to this day. But one thing is certain, his reign as the most feared thug of his time is etched into the annals of history, a testament to his indomitable spirit and unyielding determination."